So there are calls this afternoon for an investigation into the Northwest Government's donkey carts project, which costs 780,000 rand. The DA and ActionSA in the province have lambasted the Department of Community Safety in that province for the tender. The 20 donkey carts were given to communities in Dibono and Malawana. That's near Mafikeng. Let's talk about this now with Freddy Sonakile, the DA's Northwest spokesperson. Freddy, welcome to the program. Is it the price of this project that you find most offensive?
Yeah, number one, it is the price, and it is also the fact that it is donkey carts in 2022.
And what about it, don't you believe? I mean, the provincial government, in fact, we were covering the story yesterday, has given a breakdown, for instance, on what it costs to get a two-seater, I think it is, one of the donkey carts. You can also get a four-seater. We're showing visuals now. And then there's something to do with a maintenance plan that would run over a course of 3 years. Why don't you believe those numbers are legit?
The very same department has indicated that for this type of project, they've been running it since 2002. When you look at the amounts then and the amounts now, it shows that there's some sort of amount somewhere that has been inflated. That is why we would want this to be put to a test to say what does it contain, what is it worth, because we don't believe that what they are telling us is actually the truth, and that amount should be like that. That's point number one. Point number two, the one that I'm saying that it's 2022, why are we still talking donkey carts? I mean, this is the very same government that speaks about rural development. They are talking about the rural strategy that they utilized to give these people donkeys. That strategy they are talking to is a 2007 strategy. It's more than 15 years old now. The very same strategy, it has timelines to say in terms of donkey carts, we were supposed to have reached, or the time frame to provide donkey carts to communities is between 2007 to 2012. We are now 2022. They are reciting a very outdated document for them to be giving people what they gave them.
So over and above that, you also want the president to basically go ahead with a proclamation giving the SIU authority to investigate this project, right?
Yes.
And
we believe that, this must be investigated further. However, we've taken another step whereby we wrote to the MEC to say, provide us with this breakdown that you've been speaking about to the media, but take it back as far as when this program or project started, so that we can show you where we believe that there's some sort of inflation of prices and all that we are raising on the matter.
So let's say it's not 780,000 rand. If the cost was less, would you question it?
Not when we are from Northwest. We will still not be happy with donkey carts. The fact that it is donkey carts in this day and age, we believe that it says everything against rural development. The fact that it is donkey carts on a government that has, especially the department, let me focus on the department, on a department that cites a reason for giving donkey carts as that students walk 20 kilometers, says there's a problem. You are giving them donkey carts so that they can be able to go to school 20 kilometers away from their village. The donkey carts will not make them be on time. The donkey carts will not be able to withstand rains and stuff like that. And the donkey carts actually are saying you are failing on your own policy. That says that for every student that has to walk more than 5 kilometers, there must be scholar transport provided. The same department that must come up with an easy solution and one that is modern and that is current with the times, provide something that takes the students back instead of a solution that is already within the department in the form of a scholar transport.
And just on that, what you're talking about, in terms of the sales pitch for this donkey cart project, one of the things I saw being bandied about was that these carts would basically help ferry the sick to hospital, help children, as you were saying, get to school, pensioners get to their pay points on time when they go for the monthly collection of their money. So in the absence of these donkey carts, what alternatives are available for people?
The first alternative, let's talk to the three issues that you mentioned. The first one being the school kids. They must provide them with scholar transport. 780,000 is more than enough to would have catered for scholar transport. Number two, they would have engaged their sister department, the Department of Health, to build a clinic. While a clinic was being built, there's nothing, talks of no clinic or anything. They are actually saying that it is okay, that there's no clinic. And mind you, let me maybe bring this information. The Department of Health in this province is returning millions of its infrastructure grants. They did not build any health facility in this financial year. And having this information and getting a card for older people to go to clinic and that being cited and knowing what the department has done, an indictment against residents, it creates a problem. Number 3, they are talking about roads. The roads there, yes, are not okay. The roads there have been like that forever. People cannot move and all that. But you have a very same department, a sister department of the one that donated the donkey cards, Public Works, also having returned infrastructure, road infrastructure funds to National Treasury, having not utilized them. So at least if they were giving these donkey cards and saying that we are on the process of doing the following. So they are not having a plan. They are just providing this donkey card and it's business as usual and they say people must be fine.
The community itself, from what we were hearing, was split, right? You had people who were saying it's a ludicrous idea. Others were saying, well, in the absence of another plan, what is there to do? For example, when you've got an elderly woman who desperately needs to go be able to collect her grant, but has no other mode of transport to get by, if there is no change, what then?
Yeah, but it also says that the community has been failed. But it's understandable that there will be people who are appreciative of this. Remember, here we are speaking about a village that has been deprived of services for years. We are speaking of a village that its people know nothing but donkey carts. But that is why we need to come out as leaders, as they are leaders who were actually born and bred in the very same villages, who understand that our people, I was born 30 years ago in a village. It cannot be correct that 30 years after I was born of my existence, when I go back to the very same village where I was born, I still find what was there years ago. While I know that this government has budgets, while I know that this government is able and has the party, I'm not able, has the monies to can be able to provide for that. It's like saying that you give someone 10,000 and say feed 10 people. Then the person buys 100 rand food parcels for those people and gives them. Those who are going to receive will be appreciative because they are not used to getting anything. But for someone who will understand the budget or the amounts behind the initial amount that was supposed to be spent, you start asking questions and believe that you are undermining people. And that is where we are sitting as the DA with this matter.
So just to be clear on your 2 requests, one to the Premier to immediately act at provincial level, the second to the President for the SIU proclamation for an investigation. Have both of those letters now been sent out from the DA in the Northwest?
What we have done, the first one on the Premier, we have decided that let's ask further questions to the department. What we are trying to do now, we are getting into a point where we say, give us tender documents as well. Show us all the people who tendered for this. Show us who tendered. Give us the amounts that everyone had said. So that when we take it to the SIU, it makes it even much easier that already we had identified a prima facie sort of case for them to say that these are the issues that we are raising. In the province, we have engaged the Premier. A letter has been written to say, Premier, how did this happen under your view? What happened to that multi-departmental coordinating committee that you are running? Because for this department to have acted like this and be able to speak with confidence and say, we are not public works, we are not health, it means that we had failed on that coordinating, because you would have brought all these 3 departments together and said, here are the key issues in these villages. Let's come up with permanent solutions of taking the entire village and not 20 people out of a village of many people out of their sorrow or a temporary arrangement like it is happening now.
Freddy Sonakile, good to have your time from the DA in the Northwest. Thank you, sir.